Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
The Motocross Supercross podcast.
Episode 155, a great night of racing in Anaheim has commenced. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
A great night of racing indeed. Definitely different from A1. It was dry. The track held up perfect. It was very interesting. Both classes had a great showing, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, it was definitely a very technical track, very different from that first Anaheim race. Yep. And it was just awesome. Everything about it was awesome. We had some of our predictions were right, which was really cool. But probably more of mine than yours, but I think it was good. It was good.
My predictions were good. I just, still...
Yeah, dude, and it's hard to pick because we're not picking after we look at lap times or anything. We're picking before all that. And
from the heart.
Yeah, so I thought we nailed it. We definitely nailed it. Let's just stick with that.
Thank you.
But what do you say? We jump right into what went down, starting with these practice qualifying times?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the 250. We're going to recap the 250 class. And let's talk about the qualifying times. Let's start with that.
All right, so these 250s, they were running actually faster than the 450s. Sometimes we see that happen at these tracks, and this was one of those tracks. A lot different than Glendale last week, that big open track. We're in this small stadium again, baseball stadium.
Very small, and it was just tight. I can't, there's nothing else to really say about that.
It definitely seemed like Glendale's track was wider for sure.
Oh, well, I mean, this size of the stadium is just so much bigger.
Yeah, and it's so funny because the lap times were just a little bit longer at Glendale, but that track was probably twice as long.
Oh, yeah.
So let's jump right into some of these qualifying times. This is just the combined qualifying for everyone. Obviously, their qualifying times put them straight into the main or into the LCQ. So the fastest time was Dylan Ferrandis. He had a 58.6.
That's right.
Yeah, and actually he wasn't. The 250s were running faster than the 450s until that very last 450 practice. Mooskin put in a 57. So little correction on that. But Adam Cianciarulo was second fastest, 58.7, a tenth off. Colt Nichols behind him. RJ, Shane McElrath, Mosman had the sixth fastest. Dakotas had the seventh fastest. Jacob Hayes, Enzo, Garrett Marchbanks, Cameron McAdoo was up there. Chris Blows, Jerry Robbins, Sean Cantrell, Justin Starling, Jess Pettis, Thomas Doe, Carson Brown. All those guys went straight through to the main with those times. And then going to the LCQ, Logan Carno, Mitchell Harrison. Again, Mitchell Harrison always finding himself there. Tomas Ravenhorst, Martin Costello, Wageman champion, who we're going to get into, but he's the new Rockwell edition, so making his first showing of the season. So, and it's set up. I just love the format of it. It was so much fun. Just boom, right there from the start. Had all this racing.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's definitely different. It's definitely a fun format. It's just so hard because you have to put good laps in order to make it. Whenever we go to regular racing, we take top 40 goes to the night show, and that's when we do the heats and we do the LCQs, and then we go to the mains. But this time, top 18 goes through.
Yep, and everyone else went to the LCQ. So looking at this LCQ, we had Tomas Ravenhorst got the whole shot, and another name that I didn't mention that's in this was Dylan Merriam, and he crashed on the start. So just some bad luck for that AJE rider. He hasn't caught a break all year yet. So 3 races in, I thought he would be doing a lot better. I know in motocross, he had some top 10s in the 450 class. So just a rough start for him. Hopefully he can turn things around here soon. But we also had Costello. He was up there in second. Harrison, Wageman, Scott Champion. He went down pretty hard. That video's on our Instagram. What did he say? He took a trip to Indonesia.
Yeah, Indonesia. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so, he definitely went over the bars. And
another debut he wanted to have with this new team.
I was going to say, sucks for that team, but his teammate, Mitchell Harrison, he moved to second pretty fast, and then he passed Ravenhorst, who fell on the last lap
Two
like couple
turns before the final,
exactly.
before the checker flag. It was so sad. Like, like you can like feel the depression through his helmet, through the TV screen. Like, this guy was looking good in the qualifying. I almost took him for my fantasy. I'm kind of glad I didn't because he went down, like you said, a couple of laps, or not laps, but turns before the finish line, and what a bummer.
Yeah, he just like threw his hands up and he was just like, that was it.
Yep.
Yeah, too bad for him. So going through, Mitchell Harrison, Martin Costello, Robbie Wageman, and Chris Howell. So no Dylan Merriam, that's too bad. But Mitchell Harrison actually looked pretty good out there, and I think he was just happy to made it get through a race. Yeah,
finally make it.
So let's go ahead and jump right into this 251 then. We got 3 of these races for this Triple Crown, so we got a lot to cover.
Yeah, 3 main event format, Olympic style scoring.
Or golf scoring.
Yeah, for first place you get 1 point. For 22nd place you get 22 points.
Lowest score wins, like golf.
Exactly.
And things started off really good in this race for Adam Cincerillo, or Cincerilla, as Daniel Blair still calls him. It's like, what?
I don't get it. Like, it was kind of funny last week, but, you know. So, yeah, AC with a great start. He got the whole shot. He was followed by Nichols and Jacob Hayes. McElrath close behind him, and then, you know, the rest of the pack. Nichols makes a little mistake in the rhythm section and allows Adam to get a little gap on him. Also, McElrath makes a mistake in the next lap in the same spot, and he loses 2 positions, 1 to Ferrandis and 1 to Jimmy D. AC goes down before the wall jump. Slid out the stupidest way, too. Like, yeah, I bet you he was pretty upset about that.
Dude, he like face planted into that thing.
Yeah.
He went straight into it with his face. It was just typical Adam Cincerillo. Typical. Classic.
Exactly. There's no better way to describe it. This wall jump has taken a lot of names last night, though.
You know who else was taking a lot of names for this Anaheim 2 race?
Who's that?
The tough blocks. So many riders getting caught up in these tough blocks. It was like, it was so insane.
Yeah, one of them was Colt Nichols. We're about to get to, but like I said, AC went down. Nichols passed him. Jacob Hayes passed him. Ferrandis passed him, and then Jimmy Dakotas also goes by. You mentioned the tough block. Yes, Nichols comes back around, jumps the wall jump, and clips the top block right after it, and almost this close, Adam. This close for him to go down. But he managed to save it and still stays up front. Costello, another one that was a victim of this wall jump.
Yeah, he like flew off the track and just landed like right on his back. Like,
yeah, he almost landed on the camera guy.
Almost. That was a good shot. I wonder if he saw him coming or if he was just moving. But yeah. It could have been
an action shot, the money shot, as they call it.
Oh yeah, that was a money shot. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But he fell pretty hard, but he was able to get back up.
Oh yeah. No, he fell hard, but yeah. McElrath makes a move on Hayes. Jacob Hayes, by the way, he had a great race. This first main event was really good for him, and I feel the fact that he's not on a factory ride affect him a lot because McElrath makes a move on him and takes 3rd place from Jacob Hayes. Ferrandis passed him. AC passed him. And then RJ makes the moves on Hayes, make him lose another position. So it was a really good race for Jacob Hayes. But if you look at it, like the guys that beat him, Colt Nichols, Dylan Ferrandis, Shane McElrath, Adam Cincerillo, and RJ, all factory rides.
Exactly.
So good for the Arena Cross champ.
Another thing that kind of stuck out in this race was Marchbanks. He fell in that turn, and while he's holding his bike there, a Suzuki came out and like clipped him and like took his feet out from under him.
Yeah, I want to say it was Jimmy D, but
no, I think it was Costello or I think it was Martin Costello or Enzo. It was definitely one of those two. I just couldn't tell.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and he just kind of like looked at him and gave him the what the hell. So for this main number 1, the Yamaha guys takes the two first spots. You know, Colt Nichols and Dylan Ferrandis, 1st and 2nd place. Right before the finish line, though, Carson Brown goes down really hard. it like messed up his whole bike. Obviously he didn't finish, but yeah, it was like right before the finish line. That whoop section was a little tricky, especially the guys were saying how like the last whoop was a little bit higher than the rest, so you kind of had to like hop over it. And well, Carson Brown did not get the memo. So
yeah, they didn't show it though. That's one of the crashes they missed this week.
Yeah, so Colt Nichols won this main event. Dylan Ferrandis, Shane McElrath, Adam Cincerullo in 4th, RJ Hampshire in 5th, Jacob Hayes in 6th, Jimmy D in 7th, Chris Blows in 8th, Cameron McAdoo in 9th, Michael Mosman in 10th, Jess Pettis in 11th, Mitchell Harrison in 12th, Sean Cantrell in 13th, Martin Costello in 14th, Enzo Lopez in 15th, Starling in 16th, Garrett Marchbanks in 17th, Jerry Robin in 18th, Thomas Doe in 19th, Robbie Wageman in 20th, Carson Brown in 21st, and then Chris Howell in 22nd.
Good race,
Again,
though. It definitely went by fast.
Yeah, well, it was the whole, the 10-minute thing, and it was way better. This Triple Crown was already way better than last year's Triple Crown. There was not a lot of time waiting between mains. There was...
they had good TV segments, too, to like keep it busy.
Yes, exactly. We had good TV segments. We again underestimated Cole Nichols. I mean, I did.
Yeah, you did. I knew. Yep, you shouldn't have done that. And that sets us up perfect for this second heat the second main event, because Colt Nichols ripped a big hole shot. He dominated that start on everybody. Yeah,
he had a great start, and he was followed by Dylan Ferrandis and Shane McElrath.
Yep, and Hampshire, he was like running 4th. He had a much better start this race. Blows was up there, Mosman. AC, though, he was like all the way back in 9th.
Yeah, he ran with some problems early in the race, and
classic AC.
Not a good thing if he's trying to win this thing and show everyone that he's definitely the contender for this championship.
Yeah, I noticed with him, he would just make so many mistakes. Like in this race, like he was behind Mosman, and he'd catch up to Mosman, make a little mistake, fall back, catch up to him again, make a little mistake, fall back. It was just the story of his life, He just couldn't catch a break.
He looked just like out of his element.
Yeah.
He looked very just rushed. He was trying to make the pass on Mosman, but like he was just trying to run him out. Like, I don't get it. Like, calm down and choose your lines, man. Like, you're a professional rider. You shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And it almost cost him.
Yeah, if you compare his riding style, or like just a lap of him riding and then a lap of Colt Nichols riding, Colt Nichols was like so much more like relaxed and just ripping, and AC just looked like he was just trying so hard. He's the try hard.
Yeah, he's just pushing it and just trying to do stuff that he can't, like, just out of his head. He was just riding over his head.
When AC, though, when he finally did pass Mosman, he like jumped over into his lane and like so close to getting landed on by Mosman. They were so close to each other. It was just, it didn't seem to affect him that much, but like Mosman, it scared the crap out of him. He ended up rolling the next couple jumps. Like, it really threw him off. But Nichols, he fell in one of the corners and gave Ferrandis that lead, took him to first, and obviously didn't take McElrath long to get by him too. But and then they cut back to AC over in the rhythm section. He's like starting, and he's got a tough block up against him there too. Like, he was out of control. You knew he was going to crash. So we didn't get to see exactly what happened, but something definitely happened. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much all that happened this race, like the big moments. Yeah. But it still was a good race. If you haven't seen
Nichols, like you said, he didn't like fall though. He fell because of the pressure that Dylan was putting on him for the first place position. Dylan Ferrandis on fire all night.
Yeah, he was all over him. He
was putting really good laps. He looked really good. Also, Shane McElrath, he looked really good as well. He started to close on Dylan after making the pass on Nichols, and like Dylan Ferrandis will get a half a second on him, Shane McElrath will take it back, and like so on and so on. And he looked really good.
Yeah, it was good, and they all ran like pretty much within a second of each other, so it was pretty close. Yeah. That's why like the Triple Crowns keeps everyone like kind of close together.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dylan Ferrandis won, Shane McElrath got second, Colt Nichols got third, RJ Hampshire, I'm telling you, man, he's the new number 4 guy. Just fourth place every week. Fourth place here. Fourth place, everything. Cameron McAdoo got 5th. Michael Mosman got 6th. Jacob Hayes got 7th. Chris Blows got 8th. Mitchell Harrison in the top 10 with that 9th place. Sean Cantrell 10th. Enzo 11th. Martin Costello 12th. Jess Pettis 13th. Adam Cincerulo all the way back in 14th. Crazy.
Not a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, and Garrett Marchbanks 21st. So those Monster Energy Kawasaki's just struggling hardcore in that moto.
Yeah, and this finish right here, with Ferrandis, McElrath, and Nichols, it sets us up for such a great third main event because they're all going into it with the same amount of points. So it's anyone's game.
Exactly, and Nichols barely got the whole shot in this race, and actually, Sean Cantrell jumped out front. AC was right there behind him in second, but Cantrell almost lost it in that rhythm section. He was completely sideways, somehow saved it, and just gave up all those positions. But it was cool to see someone else up front.
It was, at first I thought it was McElrath because of the KTM thing.
Yeah.
And like you said, he almost lost it. And McElrath almost landed on him too. That was close.
Yeah, because he was cutting across everyone's lane and stuff right there on the first lap. Sketchy, bro. Real sketchy. Don't do that.
Yeah, he looked back and oh shit.
But anyways, Adam Cincerulo, he moved out front and...
Yeah, definitely something that he wanted to do in that second main event, but it didn't happen for him. And McElrath started making pass. He made the pass for second over Nichols, but Nichols, he wasn't going to let it just go like that, He just battled it out a little bit. Ferrandis also battling for the overall. He was sitting back in 5th place, which is not good when you're trying to win this thing.
Yeah, he was able to work his way up. And McAdoo, Mosman, Hampshire, though, he was all the way back in 7th, at the beginning of this race. He's just been really off on his starts recently. But it wasn't over for those pro circuit guys. More trouble for them. Marchbanks, he was down in the sand section again. They didn't show what happened, but he was definitely off the track there. He ended up DNFing this race, so hopefully he's okay. But McElrath ended up catching up to Adam Cincerulo and make the pass for first, and he looked like a new man this moto.
A great pass.
And a clean pass, very clean pass. I gotta say, it was pretty clean. It was a clean night of racing. All the hole shots were clean. The racing was pretty clean. No Adam Cincerulo RJ drama like last Anaheim. And also another thing that happened was Dylan Ferrandis made the pass on Nichols.
Another great pass. He made the pass in a section that I thought it was the most one-line section of the whole track, and he managed to make that pass on that section.
Yeah, and he got him around the outside too.
That's what I'm saying, because he went on the outside, Nichols went on the inside, and that momentum he carried, he jumped, and then he just snuck right in that kink jump or whatever.
What'd you think of that? What'd you think of that little kink jump?
Like I said, I thought it was very one-lined, and that kink coming out of that section, that double section, I guess we'll call it. Both of the lines were going to the same turn. There wasn't... The
problem is with those kink jumps is you can't jump the outside. If you jump the outside, you land in the stance. You have to cut in. So if you're on the outside, you're cutting in. And if you're on the inside, you're really cutting in.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Ferrandis showed us up.
Yeah, so it was cool. I thought it was cool, though. But it was a little sketchy for sure. And it was a really hard place to make a pass because nobody wants to die.
But someone that, we've been talking about, you mentioned RJ being the 4th guy. You also mentioned before that Shane McElrath is he going to be our 3rd place guy? Well, not anymore because he took the win last night.
Yeah, like you said, Shane McElrath dominated. Adam Cincerulo was able to salvage 2nd. Dylan Ferrandis 3rd. Colt Nichols finishing just off the podium in this 3rd race, 4th place. RJ 5th. Cameron McAdoo 6th. Michael Mosman 7th. Chris Blows 8th. Jacob Hayes 9th. Marchbanks 22nd. DNF, as we said. And I gotta say, I was almost spot on with my 250 predictions because I said Colt Nichols was going to win a moto. He did. I said Adam Cincerulo was going to win a moto. He didn't. I said Shane McElrath was going to win a moto. He did. And then I said Shane McElrath would get the overall. And what do you know? He was consistent, got the overall. He went 3-2-1, 1st place overall. Dylan Ferrandis went 2-1-3, 2nd place overall. Colt Nichols, 3rd place. So I predicted Shane McElrath to get 1st, Colt Nichols to get 3rd. But Dylan Ferrandis, I guess I'm underestimating him.
Yeah.
But it's hard to pick with Adam Cianciarulo, just because you don't know if he's going to keep it together or not. Because if he keeps it together, he dominates everyone. But if he doesn't, this is what happens. But RJ Hampshire, as we said, 4th is his spot, and that's what he got in this race. Adam Cianciarulo 5th, Cameron McAdoo 6th, Jacob Hayes 7th, Michael Mosman 8th, Chris Blows 9th, Mitchell Harrison 10th place overall, Jess Pettis 11th, Sean Cantrell 12th, Jimmy Dakotas 13th, Enzo 14th, Martin Costello 15th, Justin Starling 16th, Robbie Wageman 17th, Carson Brown 18th, Jerry Robin 19th, Thomas Doe 20th, Garrett Marchbanks 21, and Chris Howell 22. So Shane McElrath, congrats to him getting his first win of the season and throwing his...
Not a third place guy anymore.
That's right. Throwing his hat in the ring. And looking at the points, it's pretty close between those top 2 guys. Colton Nichols has first place. He's going to keep that red plate, 70 points. Shane McElrath, second place, with 68 points.
Yeah, that's going to be super interesting coming into Oakland this weekend coming up, round 4. I would say the top 4 guys are actually pretty close. Adam Cianciarulo sits in 4th with 62 points. That's only 8 points behind your leader, right. Cole Nichols.
And Ferrandis 63. So
yeah,
it is still close. But Cole Nichols, he is starting to stretch that lead out from the rest of the pack, except McElrath. So
kind of. All it takes is one race, one mistake. So
that's right.
Cole Nichols looks really good. He looks very comfortable on the bike, and I'm guarantee you he's loving every weekend because he's finishing the podium every time. And yeah, he goes into this 4th round with a red plate.
That's right.
Still.
And RJ, 5th place, 57 points, 13 points behind. So he needs to get his act together here, step it up a little bit. We thought he'd be one of the top contenders, and he's just not right now. So we'll have to see if he can make some changes this week and see what he can bring to Oakland. Well, is there anything else we need to add this episode?
I don't think so, dude. I think we cover everything pretty much that we wanted to cover. We just want to thank everyone. Make sure you guys go to our Instagram at MXSX Podcast. Check out the videos. Leave us a comment, and that's it.
All right. Peace.